The Emperor has been expecting you.
Hi everyone and welcome to 16Figure Focus. You're very welcome back to the Hope Show, a weekly live stream dedicated to 16 scale collecting in general, pop culture, movie, TV and all that type of stuff. We took a week off. I was ill last week, but now we're back. Thank you very much to the 31 people watching live, or indeed, of course, if you're watching on the replay, it is greatly appreciated. We're going to bring in the panel for tonight. We got Ian, aka Ancient Silver Fox. We got the man who, he's known by many names and none on our PC. We got Mike L here, and we got Jose Plus, aka the Fact Checker. That's Ben Thomas has coined you the Fact Checker, not me. But there's worse things. I'm sure you've been called worse. Have you been called worse?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You've definitely been called worse. Okay, Fact Checker is the worst you're being called. You're probably doing all right. How are you this evening, gentlemen?
Doing great.
Yeah, all good.
Pretty good. It's been raining a lot, so it's kind of, and I haven't been feeling too well, so it's kind of adding to the depressing environment. But I wanted to be on the show to kind of lift my spirits here, so I wanted to be here with you guys.
Oh man, if you're not sick at the start of the show, you'll be sickened by the end. You don't want to come on here to feel good. That's why I took last week off. Like, you know? Yeah, no, I really do appreciate you struggling through and powering through. I know that's not easy, especially if you're on a show where you have to do a bit of talking. And I was thinking there when I was doing these slides, I have your snap.
Yes.
I remember you. I'm going to let you take the reins on that. There, you can introduce that the parameters. Ian, you're in the middle of storm something.
Yeah, so Storm Aisha last night, so I've got a broken window and some damage in the garden, and then we've got another storm coming tomorrow night, Storm Jocelyn.
Right.
So
where do they get these names? I actually quite like the name Aisha. The first one's Aisha, or it's Aisha, ISHA. It's a unique one. I like that.
yeah.
What's the weather like for you, Mike?
We've been having snow lately. Nothing too bad, but yeah, you know, my son got to experience snow for the first time, so
cool.
that was really cute. He was, you know, like looking at it, like, what's the sensation in my hand, and that was a nice experience. But I do feel sorry for those like Ian who are really just getting battered. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hope everyone on the panel is safe and your family are safe, and everyone watching in the chat, whether you're watching live or you're watching on the replay. So just get a few basics out of the way. We're getting close, folks. We're getting very close. We're currently at 2,909 subscribers. It's kind of been a long slog, but a steady slog towards 3,000 subscribers. Hopefully, I imagine we'll probably, don't want to get cocky now, but I'd say we could potentially be there next week and maybe the week after. And if and when we reach 3k, Ian, aka the Ancient Silver Fox, has donated a brand new inbox, Captain America Civil War Winter Soldier from Captain America Civil War, one of the better ones. So we will be definitely giving that away. So as soon as we hit the 3k, hopefully we're getting there. You'll have to be subscribed, you'll have to be present in the Hope Show, you'll have to be present in the chat. I'm going to ask a very, very simple question. The answer I've spoke about numerous times on this channel. So shout out to the members. If you are watching, as usual, there is a link to channel memberships on the just in the live chat. It's pinned to the live chat if you want to click that, and you can go through and become a channel member. It's greatly appreciated. Of course, all the funds and anything goes back into the channel. So massive shout out to the troopers. We got Brian Wong, it's one brand new member. We got the Ben Thomas Show, Eddie Money Mendes, who should be joining us later on, the Caffeinated Comic Fan. We've got Jim the Collector, Lancelot's Nerd Corner. I was watching Lancelot's Nerd Corner's review on the MMS 466, the Neo from the first Matrix. There's some good posing going on there. I really appreciated that. Neilerific, Mugwump, Mike L, of course, is here. Chuli, Bendu, Windu, Ryan Smith, and we're just going to give a shout out to the Commanders as well. And this time we're going to shout out to Commanders. Of course, the Commanders have their credentials at the end of all videos and live streams. So shout out to the Commanders. And of course, our newest member. He probably thought I didn't see it, but I did.
Welcome to the club, man.
We've got the newest member. We got Jose G. Hernandez. Massively appreciated. Thanks very much for... What am I doing here? First day. You take a week off and I forget how to do everything. There we go. Now we can see him. There we go. Thanks very much, Jose. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Right, address the chat really quickly and we'll get stuck into it. So Rita can't make it tonight, but she'll be here in spirit. She's working currently. We got Tragedy Tales, who said missed the Hope Show. Massively appreciated. So did I. I missed having the weekly chat with the gentleman here. Brick Artemis couldn't make it today, but maybe another time he'll rejoin us. Then it was a lot of fun the last time he was there. Of course, we got Ian warming up the crowd. Collector Joey. I told Collector Joey, I asked him to come on. He said he was working. I said, just quit your job, man. Quit your job. And he asked me, he said, no, you moved to the States. So we're in a bit of a standoff now, but I still love the guy. We got Dave X-Man Supreme, who's here. One of the most consistent supporters of the channel, and of course channel members as well. Thank you very much. Joey saying easy peasy like. We got Ryan Smith. Another channel member, massively appreciated. We got Danny Boy from LA. Thanks very much. Channel member here as well. We got 12-inch Moose Stream Michael Hannon. I'm going to always be jealous of that 1989 Jazz Inc. Batwing that he has. We got Doc Bat. Hello, friends. Thanks very much for being here. I think it's the first time I've seen you here. Thanks very much for joining in. We got Brad Koskai, who went on a tirade of comments on my videos around the 1989 Jazz Inc. Convincing me to buy. He's Jazz Inc. all the way. Made some solid points. Got Malika Mabane here as well. Thanks very much for being here. X-Man Supreme, mine is just about paid off. Just made the final payment on the Batwing. That is awesome. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. We got the Sit Scale Collector. We got J Rob in the house as well. We got Tally Meyer all the way from Germany. We got Tragedy Tales, Clinton Martin. We got a bunch of people. We got Mike Fayella with the exclamation mark Mike. We've got Fancy 0809. Howdy from Texas, everyone. Thanks very much for joining in. We have also we got Keith, previously known as 6 Scale Padawan, channel member, Dublin's Devil. Big day for Keith yesterday. Keith officially did his very first 501st Troop in the RDS in Dublin, and I was glad I was there as well. Troop, he's a scout trooper, beautiful weathered scout trooper he got, and really enjoyed hanging around with him and pretending we were troopers for the day. He absolutely nailed it as well. He's very, very good with the crowd and stuff like that, and the kids and stuff like that, giving them high fives and stuff like that, and taking photos. So like, absolute legend. So really enjoyed that there, Keith. And we got Calvin, the low-key collective. Man, we got a packed house there today. We got Trevor, who's here. Hop in, Trevor. Hop in, unless you're working or busy or something like that. But feel free to hop in if you want, and if you can't, no problem at all. We got Dirk Diggler's stunt double. Every time I see this, I gotta go rewatch Boogie Nights. Good afternoon, watching the stream from work. Good stuff. We got Red Wolf. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks very much for being here. Do appreciate it. All right, so. Let's look, we're going to get straight into it. We got all that stuff out of the way. Really quickly, new videos, my thoughts on the Jazz Inc. 1989 Batmobile. If you want to see a man have a nervous breakdown for about 18 minutes deciding what he's going to do about this, watch this. This is a review on the Blaladins, just the actual cabinet. This is a head-to-head on Detolf. Actually, I'm going to say that again. It's Blaliden.
Blaliden. I was going to correct you, but yeah. I figured Jose would beat me.
Yeah. Martin G. Martin G. He's a subscriber to the channel and a supporter of the channel. We message on Instagram from time to time. He's from Denmark, and he actually answered my call on one of these videos where I was like, please correct me. I don't like getting people's names wrong, and I don't like mispronouncing things if I can help it. So he said, no, the correct pronunciation is Blaliden. So yeah, so that's the head-to-head about the two of them. And then this is specifically on the Luke lights as well. I've actually reached out to Luke lights because I want to get them to custom make lighting similar to Luke lights from my IKEA Millsbow. I'm sick and tired of charging up the things. Alright, so alright. Let me see. Jose is feeling a little under the weather, so I think it's only right that he is first pick. Right, you kick off the show, folks. Of course, if you're just joining us, this is how we're doing the show going forward. There's no real structure. We got some random icons, some not so random, some random. And in there, of course, you have the usual thing like news and stuff like that. So, of course, if you're here for 6 scale, you're going to get 6 scale. And a lot of them are linked to 6 scale. So, what are we talking about?
Let's go with the X-Wing.
The X-Wing. Excellent choice. Okay, no pun intended. Right. X-Wing is simple. Just wanted to get people's thoughts. What's your favorite Star Wars vehicle? Out of anything you've seen in any sort of Star Wars media, like what is the vehicle that does it for you? You may as well kick it off there, Jose.
It's got to be the Millennium Falcon. Got to be the Falcon. Yeah, I mean, I spent all that money on that Jazz Ink, to get it there, and got my autograph by Harrison Ford right next to it.
Oh wow,
that's
wow.
my.
Didn't realize. So you have the Millennium Falcon cockpit, yeah?
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize. I know you collect autographs. Didn't realize you actually had Harrison Ford. Maybe you said it before.
I do.
I couldn't remember. Yeah. That's pretty damn cool.
Let me see. I pull it out here for you.
Excellent stuff. Now just 1 second. You get the full screen treatment. Where do we have? Oh, I like the little kind of plaque you have on it. I think it's really classy when the autographs are in that kind of like black marker on some sort of I don't know, etched out plate like that. That's the ideal. I really like that. That's very tasteful. I think that's pretty cool. Good stuff. And we have, I believe, Trevor in the house. He's loading up there. I presume he'll be ready in a second or two. Shout out to Phil, who isn't joining us today. Massive shout out, you are missed. Hello, commanders, troopers, and chat. Congratulations on your first troop, buddy. I'm telling you, we're always looking for new recruits. It'd be great to go over there to Wales and meet up if you ever. I know you were tempted a while back, but and Keith saying right back at you, very much appreciated. Good stuff. Trevor, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
All right,
good to see you, man.
Right, yeah,
good to see you guys.
Can't complain.
Wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it, but I managed to get away. So
you missed us too much.
I did. It's been a while.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's it. That's what it was. Well, look, we're just Jose there selected the from the grid. He selected the X-Wing, and the question there was, "What's your favorite Star Wars vehicle?" Jose went straight in there with the Millennium Falcon. I don't think he even thought about it. What about yourself?
Yeah, it would probably end up being the Falcon, I guess. Although I like, Boba Fett's ship, Slave One. Just a cool design. Just, the way they made that, work and fly and land and everything. I thought that was pretty cool. But, yeah, I'd probably expect the Falcon. Yeah.
This is the hardest thing about these questions, because you think you know what your favorite is, and then it's like in a restaurant when you order something, you think you know what that you want, and then suddenly someone next to you gets served some food, and you got food envy, like, I didn't realize that looked that good. So there's so many cool ships in Star Wars that it's hard to pick a favorite. But so we got 2 Falcons. What about yourself, Ian?
Oh yeah, I would say the Falcon, but I'll say the Star Destroyer.
All right, you're just going big or go home then.
Yeah, that's it. Just that initial impact, seeing it on the big screen.
Mm-hmm. Just the way it was shot with the kind of the undercarriage of it. Yeah, I get that. That's pretty damn cool. And last but not least, Mike.
Yeah, your restaurant analogy is really hitting me right now.
you
could say a Y wing, a B wing. There's nothing uninteresting in Star Wars ships, right?
I get you.
But my original answer, my funny answer is going to be the Death Star, but my real answer is Slave One. Just because it's so bizarre, like it shouldn't even work in orbit. So like in a planet system, I should say, not in orbit. It shouldn't work. It should only work in space. But it's funny that it also works and flies properly and can land and all that. I just think the design is so cool.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's capable of flight, but
in atmosphere, I meant to say,
yeah. I get you. No, it's it's pretty awesome. I gotta say, mine is simple. Mine is the X-Wing. I just love the way, like, for me, as a kid, I think why I gravitated heavily towards science fiction is because of the ship design. And it didn't matter if it was something like Star Wars, or even like a Star Trek, or or whatever, like had something like cool kind of ships. I just loved that, and I love anything that flew. What I love about this, it was almost like a correlation between the F-14 in the way that the F-14 had its wings, can drop its wings all the way back to make the fighter jet look like a triangle essentially, but then like for maneuverability it could open them up wide as well. And it's kind of the way like the X-wing had them closed, and then they had them like in an attack position as well. I just thought that was awesome. I just loved that, and the kind of way, the long kind of slender nose on it, and then the 4 kind of engines, and the trench run scene. Just that's really what captivated me and drew me into Star Wars in the first place. Not necessarily the characters, but then as I watched the second one and the third one, it was more the characters and the lightsabers and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna say X-wing on that. Yeah, it's I feel like X-wing, saying your X-wing's your favorite is like going into a restaurant and going, yeah, give us a fillet steak. Yeah, it's just like it's 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 good. It should be good like it, but it's nothing too exotic. But it's like it's bread and butter
Can't
stuff.
go wrong.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong with it. But it's funny you mentioned vehicles,
yeah.
or like actual cars, because that's what really motivated Lucas. He was really into cars as a kid, and he asked his designers. He said, "I want these to look like muscle cars. I want these to look like cars that were put together by their owners, welded." And so I just love the whole history of how he.
As in, he applied that to the ships.
He applied it to the ships. Yep.
Yeah.
Some of them looked. Yeah. So on the Empire side,
modified,
go ahead, make it exactly like he wanted the Empire ships to look like they came off an assembly line, and he wanted to look like the Rebel ships, like they were really customized and worked on by their pilots, and it was a human endeavor, not a factory floor. So
gotcha.
You see that in the design.
They did similar with the I think it's funny for the blasters design, a lot of them are kind of old, hacked up, like actual guns that are just basically pieces or cut and pasted together, like, so they're actually old guns. It's funny how he got a futuristic look by using like old parts of guns. So it's kind of similar in a way.
I'm trying to think of something else that could be called retro future before Star Wars, but Star Wars does have like a retro futuristic look in the sense that some of it was in like 1940s inspired handguns and stuff. So it's just pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, so we'll go back and so we got the X-wing is gone now. So I'll just move down the list here. So Ian, where are we going to next?
I'll pick. I'm presuming that's news, the extra.
It is. Oh man, this is he's not just a pretty face. All right, so here we go. It is news. So look, I'm reluctantly doing this, but let's talk about A Bug's Life. I have very little to say about this, but I'll let the panel go first. Like, Trevor, can we start with you? Are you armor building these? Are you a big fan? Maybe you are. Maybe you are.
I'm starting out with 4 and then moving up. No, I haven't seen this movie. I've never been a big DC guy. I like the look of this. I was saying the other day on the 1/6-pack that they did a good job translating this almost directly from the comics and not making it look goofy somehow, because you look at this in the comics and you think about this being in live action, you're like, wow, this is going to look like Power Rangers level stuff here. But it looks pretty cool, and I guess in the I know he was in the first movie or the second, I don't remember, whatever, first movie I think, briefly, and it was a different helmet, but I don't know. I can see the appeal of it if you're a DC fan or an Aquaman fan. It's not for me at all, but yeah, I mean, good for everybody who wanted this, and I know people wanted this, so cool. Yeah.
What about yourself, Jose?
Kind of along the same lines as Trevor. I don't really collect as much DC, but I did, just certain characters, mostly Batman, to be honest, not really outside of Batman. And in particular Aquaman, I haven't seen this movie. So I know that the design is more comic accurate than the first suit he wore in the first movie, and I know Mars Toys is doing the first movie version, so some people are going with that route if they prefer the all black look versus this one. But I think this one is more comic accurate. But yeah, not for me. I mean, I don't even have an Aquaman, mainly because I never liked how it looked. So, and then I know the articulation was difficult on that one. So I never picked up an Aquaman. So maybe I consider if I had one.
Someone said the suit looked like Sweetcorn.
Oh yeah,
I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Like there was a guy in MegaCon yesterday in Dublin, and he looked the part. He was kind of a tall guy, long dark hair and a beard. Like he was kind of a handsome fella, and he was dressed up as Aquaman in one of those kind of like muscle suit things. And I just kind of nudged the guy next to me and goes, Sweetcorn. And he's like, man, I can't unsee that. And I was like, no, I know. Someone did that to me as well. But yeah. What about yourself, Mike?
I'm going to echo what you guys have been saying. I'm not going to make the Stewie Griffin joke I've been making all week. But if I were to make that joke, I would say his head looks like Stewie Griffin.
Yeah. Lois.
But that's the design of the character, right? I think it looks cool for what they were going for. You can't fault Hot Toys. I think it's a pretty sweet looking figure. Just not interested in this in the Aquaman world. I got to be honest with you, but yeah.
And then Ian.
Yeah, same for me. I've got no interest in this figure. I know a lot of people were, hoping to get this, but it just wouldn't fit my collecting style. Not particularly a fan of either movie. Also, so I don't have anything from Aquaman at all. So yeah, easy pass for me.
Yeah, it's an easy pass for me, man. It's just the DCU is a bit of a mess. In fact, this is the last movie. I really don't understand how the first Aquaman made $1 billion. I just I don't get it. But maybe this is one for like say those diehard comic book fans. From what everything I've heard in streams. I've heard a lot of, it's not for me, it's for someone. Or people saying, yeah, it looks cool, but it's not for me, or whatever. But like there's probably people like maybe who are diehard comic book fans, and if this is a good lift from the comic books, maybe that's what people want, and that's cool for the people that are into them. But yeah, it's just not my cup of tea.
It was reminding me this week of Wayne's World, when his ex-girlfriend keeps trying to get back with him, and he's like, we broke up. Like the DCU has moved on. Like, why is Aquaman 2 a thing? It's just like it just feels like we're dragging this. We're beating a dead horse here, right?
Yeah,
but that's how I feel about it.
It's certain things I look at straight away and just think,
it will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine.
And that Black Manta is not one of them. And also, thanks, Mike. I've been waiting to use that clip for about 4 months. Right.
See that?
So, this, on the other hand, I was like, I know a lot of people were calling this. This wasn't. I don't think this was out of left field. I think a lot of people were saying, look, it's pretty much a DeLorean with some more stuff on the hood and a white wall tires, and then swap out like train track type tires or whatever, like wheels. So it's probably like an easy, they have the hard work done basically. But I don't know, my take on this one is simple. Like, again, I have no interest in this because as much as I recognize Back to the Future trilogy are they're cinema classics, and I really, really enjoy them, I just don't collect Back to the Future. If I wanted to get a DeLorean, it would be the one that flew. Again, that comes back to my own childhood obsession with ending the flu. Plus, I do think it's the most iconic one. The wheels turning under. I always, even as a kid, I was like, that is so cool. The way it's just a very simple thing and it flies and stuff. And I think even like, I know people had issues. Some people had issues with their hover conversions breaking. I think in fairness, it was well documented. It wasn't just like a one or two. It happened a lot. And then I think the later batches were more reinforced and stuff like that. But even still, like with the three of them existing, I think the second one, if I had to get one, it'd be that flying one because I think it's awesome. But I think this one's for like a die-hard Back to the Future fan who just has everything Back to the Future and has bought those two Western style figures and they're like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Like, probably should give it a train track diorama. Obviously, look, this isn't for me, but yeah, I it's still pretty cool that they're doing it, I think. But Ian, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I love Back to the Future. 1 and 2, love those. Third one, a little less. I don't have the DeLorean, and I don't know if I will pick one up at some point. But like you, Shane, it would be the second one for me. That's my favourite. But my headspace on vehicles are in a slightly different route at the moment.
I'd bet. We'll get there. We'll get there, Ian. The night is young. Yeah, what about yourself, Michael?
I tried talking myself into the Back to the Future 2 DeLorean several times. I just couldn't really make it work for my collection. Super cool car. This one is too. I could see somebody adding this to the collection just to kind of try to be completionist in it. And Back to the Future 3, I got to admit, I recently rewatched the trilogy. It is much better than I appreciated as a youngster. Maybe I'm old. Western appeal to me more nowadays, that I'm older. But and it's a cool car, and I like that they give you both sets of wheels. I think that's really cool. And if you were to put that on a turntable or something, you can get use out of both sides. Like one side have one set, the other side is the other set, spin it around. I think it's a really cool vehicle, but it's just not for me. But total respect to the people that are all in on Back to the Future. It's going to look beautiful.
You said a few things there. I think you phrased things very well in like certain situations. You said you like to put guardrails on your collection, and kind of I say the same thing, but a different way of expressing it. What you said there, like you tried to talk yourself into getting that multiple times. That's the way I felt with the second one as well. I was like, this is I think I do still think the 1989 Batmobile has the edge in terms of like iconic cinema cars, but again, that's totally subjective. Someone else will be like, nah, the DeLorean has the edge or the Falcon has the edge, and I get that, but it is a piece of cinema history, and having that, like even on the flight stand that comes with it, just where it's slightly off center, I actually quite like that, even though like a lot of people don't like the stand. I think I actually quite like stand. It's simple, put it off center like that and have it flying. But yeah, the phrase you used, you were kind of like talking yourself into getting this. It was like, and I really wanted to get it as well, but I'm like, Shane, you are not. I feel like a fake fan for buying it almost, like, you know what I mean. So, and I went back and I watched the Back to the Future trilogy again, and in terms of trilogies, like it's just one of those really good trilogies, and they tie up the story at the end. It still has its weak point, but any trilogy in the history of cinema has a weak point. Some are more obvious than others, and we're going to get into that later on. But like, say the Matrix Revolutions is just it's dirt, But then the Godfather 3, like just a serious standard slippage from the first two.
Yes, of course.
But I don't think the standard slippage from say a Godfather 3 compared to Godfather 2 and 1 is the same as the standard drop from 1, 2 here to 3. I still think 3 is a good movie. It's just so different because it's Western, and we went from the future so far back in the past. Maybe that's what people, the rug
I
pull
think
around.
so.
It's
also no one was interested in Westerns by the 90s, mid 90s, whenever, I forget the year exactly that this came out, but very difficult for a Western to compete with a futuristic sci-fi.
Oh yeah, I mean, what was coming out at the time? Terminator 2? Forget it, man. Independence Day?
You wanted to watch this movie over and over again as a kid just to see the hoverboard scene again. So extremely hard. And they had holograms like the Jaws thing. So, and then you say, okay, we're going to make a Western. And so I think, but what bravery, right? To go to a totally different genre.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of respect for it. And again, like I said, watching it with adult eyes, but this is a piece that you could put in your living room, and your grandmother will come over and go, I recognize that. I know what that is. And I think that's really appealing to me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. But I got too much on my plate. Too much on my plate.
I get that. Too much.
I gotta disagree, though.
Plate, you mean pre-order form? Go on, Trevor.
I gotta disagree. Godfather 3 was terrible. It was a big, big.
Well, I think that was the point I was making. As in, like,
I thought you were saying that wasn't.
No, I was saying like
as bad
the
as
standard of 1 and 2 was so high, and then there's a significant drop off for 3.
Yes. Okay.
Whereas I said, even though Back to the Future 3, typically if you surveyed 1,000 people and asked them which one was their least favorite, I would imagine the overwhelming majority would say 3 is their least favorite. Which every trilogy has to have one,
of course,
like one that is a weak point, or maybe not even at a weak point, is just not up to the standards of the other two, and that's fine, I get that. But with Godfather 3, the gap is so big. It's like not just not as good as the other two. It's significant, not a good movie. Like,
Correct.
and
I thought he was.
Revolution.
I thought he was going to say he disagreed about the "your grandma will recognize it" part, but
Oh right, yeah.
I don't know.
I
your
didn't
grandma.
disagree about that.
It may
Trevor-
be too broad of a statement.
Trevor, I was going to ask you: have you seen the director's cut of Godfather 3? Like, there's something called like the Godfather 3 Part 3 Coda.
Snyder cut.
God,
It's
I
like
don't
Coda,
think
like,
I can bring myself to watch more of that movie, longer cuts of that. No, I'm not really sure there's anything they could do to that movie to make it better in my eyes. It's just,
What's interesting, Trevor, is the reason that popped into my mind is because we're sitting at home the other day, right? And we're all done with For All Mankind, and we hadn't, the latest episode
great
of
show.
Reacher hadn't come out. And Megan's like, "What we watch?" And she's like, "Do you wanna go back and rewatch Peaky Blinders?" And I just looked at her and went, "I love you." Right? But we didn't. We didn't watch Peaky Blinders because, you know what, I've never seen? The Godfather. And I went, right, put aside
Any
the
of it?
next 3 hours. She'd never seen him, and I'd seen him, like,
Wow.
you know, but I hadn't watched him in years. So we watched the first one, loved it. Watched the second one. I actually prefer the second one. I love part two. You know,
Yeah.
but now we've got to watch the third one, and I haven't watched it in years. And I was thinking, maybe I judged it too harshly, but no, I guess I didn't. Yeah, so that's in the post. But Trevor, are you getting this?
Yes.
Oh, you are, yeah?
What's that?
Are you getting this?
No, I'm not getting it. So, I guess I'm a better salesman than Mike because I talked myself into getting the second one, and then canceled it after all the problems were arising because of where I was getting it from, which is still an ongoing monetary saga with that which will not be named. So no, I don't have that one, and I won't be ordering this one. What's sad is like, well, not sad, but I mean, this is like we're saying, this is the least of the movies, and yet these are probably some of the better looking figures from this series, and this looks great as well too. You know, I think, like I said, I think it's for diehards. But
Yeah, I
those
think
people
so,
are
yeah.
out there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant to ask you guys this as well. Do you think this is a quick turnaround? I mean, like Back to the
Yeah,
Future,
it's
the
not much
second
different.
vehicle isn't cool yet at all. I mean, that's like still a pretty talked about, and it's not like it came out a few years ago. So it just seems like to have another vehicle so similar released or announced at least. It's fast, no?
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
too much of a
I think they're
difference
just
between them, so,
capitalizing on.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
have the molds. What do they have to do?
Yeah.
Swap out the tires and put something on the hood. They don't have to do the conversion mechanism.
Yeah.
Seems like,
Yeah.
why not?
I guess I was just
And-
thinking, you know,
yeah.
if I wanted a Back to the Future 2 vehicle, I can still find it,
Yeah.
right? So
And
it's
that's
not
the
like
one.
they waited long enough for it to become scarcity and very
Yeah.
expensive. So, all right, here's the 3. You can satisfy yourself with that. But I don't know, just my 2 cents.
No, I get that. I get that. That's a fair point. And Jose, did you do the part 2 DeLorean? Mark II?
No, actually, I don't have any vehicles other than that Falcon cockpit.
Gotcha.
I've been hesitant, just spacing wise, but I think if I were to pick one, it would be the Part 2 version. That's my favorite version as well. So I saw this, actually, this one dropped live when we were on, when I was a guest on Copper Drop with Joey. And everyone was excited about it. You know, because most collectors that really wanted this version have the figures and want to do the garage shelf with all 3 vehicles, and so I totally see why you know, a lot of the community was excited about it, but no, not for me. And if I were going to get one, I'd probably get the Part 2 version.
Cool. Good stuff. Yeah. I'm the same. So all right. So Ian, you already chose something, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And Mike, you haven't chose anything yet, no?
Correct. I'm going to go with what I think is the Wolverine label.
It is absolutely the Wolverine label now. I want to make sure they have. Do I have it? I do. Okay, so yeah, unless you've been living under a 6-scale rock, you know that a few weeks ago at this stage, Hot Toys released their 1973 Wolverine. There's 4 different versions actually. There's the kind of regular, and then regular special edition, then there's deluxe, and then deluxe special edition. And The deluxe versions just came in a fancier base, were labeled Wolverine, and it's like I just think it was a silly mistake, shouldn't really have happened. And the regular version, it was fine, it said Wolverine, but the deluxe version with the bigger base, the sticker on it said Wolverine. So apparently a bunch of people are getting this now. They're getting this delivered, and on the side of the box, on the side of the shipper box, it has by the way, this is your 1973 deluxe Wolverine, but there's an error, so just swap out this. I think that's good. I think it's like fair enough. I mean, I think the mistake originally is pretty unforgivable. Like, I just don't think there's any excuse for that, how that got through customer services. But I like that they're fixing it, and it's a simple thing. Take off the sticker, put on the other sticker. Fair enough. Like, because anyone want to weigh in this? Any thoughts? I like that they fixed it. That's my point.
Yeah, I'll probably display mine with the incorrect spelling because I think it's funny. I didn't get the sticker. I don't know. I guess I got to contact my distributor to get that. So I'll have to do that just to have it.
You like the mistake?
I do. It's funny. I think it's kind of funny.
You like it'll stand out being that you'll know, but no one else will really know.
I'll know, and people who look at it, if somebody points it out, I'll just see how many people actually point it out. That
no one will.
So we'll see.
Like we all missed it.
Exactly.
It was there in the prototype images because we were all blown away by the head sculpt and the tailoring and the real leather jacket and the bone claws and all that kind of stuff. Like, but I don't think that's enough of like an excuse for because we didn't notice it makes it okay. And I know that's not what you're saying. But I know that there was that narrative out there, but so you kind of keep it on more like just to see if anyone notices, and I suppose you could tell them the backstory then if they do.
Yeah, it's kind of unique. I mean, it's an interesting little, I don't know, piece of history, but I mean, just the fact that they could mess up like a figure that's one of the most, how many times have they written Wolverine at Hot Toys?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you put out a figure and you misspell the name of the character. It's kind of ridiculous.
And you're not alone, Trevor. Dave, X-Man Supreme, who's a massive Wolverine fan, just got my Wolverine a couple of days ago now with the replacement sticker. Love the figure. May just keep it because the type was kind of funny. So I think there's probably going to be that train of thought where maybe people will. I personally won't. If I get it, I will swap it out. But I can see why people will want to have it. And down through the history of, like, say, Star Wars figures, there's been mistakes and errors made that end up being extremely rare and hard to find, and costing loads of money. Like, so I'm waiting.
I mean, I guess everybody's getting this, so it's not going to be like a rarity or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my Wolverine Special Edition Deluxe to ship. Paid it off. MB Dyson says when he's drunk, he's Wolverine. That's quite funny. This mistake will be sought after years from now. I'm a comic book collector who loves variants and double covers. Yeah, it could be a thing. Anyone else want to weigh in on this?
Yeah. I got something to say about it. I totally agree with everybody that error makes it more appealing in some ways. But I originally wasn't interested in this. Then I was interested. Then I tap danced away from it, as they say. But then I moonwalked right back to it because I was able to. I had a lot going on. We just bought a house, and I said, okay, I have to make some cuts. And this one hit the chopping block. Mm-hmm. And then some time passed, and I remembered, because sometimes I'll do this, I'll figure out a way, and you can call it an excuse, to bring something into the collection. And I'm going to flex here and show off this. Okay.
Give you the full stream.
Which is Wolverine Limited Series number 3. God, that's a lot of glare. And it's autographed by Chris Claremont, Joe Rubenstein, and Frank Miller, obviously.
So they're your writers and illustrators, yeah?
Yep.
Nice.
Absolutely. And so it's just
it's
a classic.
graded and everything.
It's
graded.
It's
a slab, isn't it?
Yep. Yes, it is.
That's
Graded
very
from
cool.
CC.
Very cool.
I love this book. It's one of my favorites in my collection. And although this figure looks super cool, posed dynamically with that base and all, I already have a 6-scale chair on the way, so that I can have him sitting
very
down,
cool.
So
you're
sitting down
recreate
in front of this book. Yeah.
Good stuff. Anyone else want to chime in this? Oh, no. Okay. Right. So we'll go back then to the grid. All right. So far, the X-wing is done. The extra readout about it, top center, is done. We have the sticker, the Wolverine sticker, is also done. And all right, I think they're the only three, are they? Right. So, Trevor, what do you want to select?
I'm very curious about the in and out, both facing the same direction. That feels like something when I decide to get rid of something, it goes into the other room until I figure out if I really want to get rid of it. So, like, I gotta see what
that's quite funny. Actually, I need to just edit that so the out is facing downwards for next week, or maybe I need to change that because people are kind of knowing what it stands for because they haven't used it. Basically, anything new to the collection? Did you get anything new in the last week or two, or anything leave your collection? Did you? Yeah.
Finally got the Batman. A little later than other people, even though I paid for first whatever. But I got it. It's in. It's cool. I just opened it up briefly yesterday on a live that I was doing, and nice. The cape. I'm not so happy with the cape. It looks cheap. I mean, the material it seems right, but there's no inner lining, so you just get like a stitch seam that looks really rough around the edge. It doesn't look good. Like, it doesn't. I mean, I got the INART coming too. I wanted to see what each one of them was like before I decided which one I was going to keep. I got a feeling it's going to be the INART. But yeah, that was the only thing. Everything else looks really good on it. The likeness is really good. I got the set with the signal, which looks pretty nice. So yeah, I don't know. That cape is really... I haven't seen anybody... I was watching different reviews, and I haven't seen anybody really mention like how cheap it looks from the front. You know, the back looks good, but like unless you have it wrapped around him or something, that seam looks...
Jeddah said he didn't like the cape.
Unseemly.
Yeah, Jeddah said he definitely
Jeddah
didn't like
did?
the cape.
Okay, I didn't see Jeddah's.
And
Jeddah said he didn't like the Batman?
Yeah. And I picked up...
it.
Maybe it was...
Okay. I didn't see
I'm not sure, was it...
Yeah.
I think it was Jeddah, but maybe I make a mistake. Maybe it was Dean Knight. So I definitely saw someone, they said they did not like it.
Dean was saying, like, I don't understand how any of these other YouTube reviews I've seen like this cape.
Sorry, I take that back. Yeah,
capes.
it wasn't Ryan. It was actually
Okay.
Dean Knight. I apologize. No, that's not true. It wasn't Ryan. It was... I thought he mentioned he didn't like it as well, but no, I think it was Dean Knight, as I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
I picked
That's
up
what
on
I
that
was
when
looking
I
for, like
did the...
validation, like, you know, like just looking for somebody else to say, yeah, this doesn't look good.
And when Dean Knight agrees with you on a Batman opinion, you're probably right.
Yeah, it's true. He knows his stuff. I mean, I reckon half of YouTube are... we got Triple G Comics here. Pete, good to see you. I was going to say... Dean Knight, yeah. I think half of YouTube is going down the custom route because of him, like, you know, with the Batman Begins. We got Polo Ralph Lauren. I like that. That kind of rolls off the tongue. Polo Ralph Lauren. Thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. And I think we got someone in the background. Is this Money Mendez? It is Money Mendez. Eddie, how are you?
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late.
You're all right. No problem, man. No need to apologize. This is your time. Thanks for choosing to spend it with us. What are we're on at the moment? What are we talking about at the moment? I'm getting tired.
The shitty Batman
In and
cape.
Out. So,
the cape. Yeah. All right. So we're just new in out.
X-Men Supreme says, I'm waiting for my Batman. I'm fine with the Vision cape. And I just took a look at the Vision cape because I couldn't remember. There's a lining on the inside of the Vision cape. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I don't care about the material. It's just that there's no lining hiding that. Just like it's basically like they wrapped it around the wire and stitched it, and that was it. And it just looks
right.
really,
Yeah. I get you.
So there's like, it doesn't feel like real material, like a heavy. I don't know. Just
it's
very, very cheap.
So if it was double layered, like you wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah.
That's kind of. Yeah, I get you.
So
you
Trev,
got the
there's
Batman
two
and
capes
Signal.
though, right? There's two capes.
Yeah,
with
there
that?
is two capes. Yeah.
There's There's one cape that's meant to
one
be,
in
I
the
guess, if he's on the bike, and it's kind of like it's also wired on the bottom, so the one that comes on it is not wired along the base, kind of so it drapes a little easier. That is a pain in the ass to like take that wire and make it like like it's folded. So I kind of appreciate that they have two, but they're both the same thing. As far as I know, I mean, they're both just that on the inside there's no lining, which just looks terrible. Really bad.
And did you pick up anything else, Trevor?
That's it. 1/6 wise, I think that's it. Yes.
Cool. Good stuff. Eddie,
the
you're
bike.
just after joining us. Sorry?
And the bike. Yeah,
The bike, gotcha. You went all out, so. Eddie, you're just after joining us, so did you get anything new in this week, or did you sell anything or trade anything off? Or?
Didn't sell anything. I didn't get anything new that's 6 scale. I don't even. Oh, I got a print. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys collect prints, but
Yeah,
I'm a
some.
big.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we do.
I'm a big Hercules fan, like Disney
Oh, cool.
Hercules, and Sideshow dropped a new print the other day. I didn't even know by I think his name is Mark Englert or he does.
Oh,
like
I know
a
that
bunch of
guy.
Different. Yeah, he does like long prints. They're usually like 36 by 12s. He's done
Like a
some
cell type
badass
of thing,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was a new Hercules one, so I picked that up. That came in yesterday. So I have a big portfolio that I keep it all in because I haven't hung anything up on the wall yet. But that came in. I want to say that's it. So yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who buys prints and doesn't put them up on the wall. There, I just basically.
Oh, you got them up on the wall, man.
I have
no
them,
wall space.
I have like
what wall?
I have
What
over
wall?
100.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, yeah, it's true. That's fair point. I
so many
retract my
boxes,
previous
Trevor.
statement. Yeah. What about yourself, Ian? How many module cases did you buy this week?
None. But
Are you replacing
there's
your
some things
window
that-
with some plexiglass from
With a
Brian?
module case. That's what he's doing. It's not
Yeah.
broken. He broke it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go down to the glazier. His name is Brian." Wow.
Brian, what's the biggest module case you can build for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might ask him if he can do IP67 waterproof ones and just build an extension to the house. You know,
Have
do
it
that.
sticking outside the window, just the box up there.
Just put it right over his house. It's dust free, honey. You will never have to dust again.
Ian's house is like it's a modern, fully functioning art piece. It's a huge module case, and he is the 6 scale figure within it. That's what it is. Like,
We're all going to peer at his windows and just look at him.
Yeah,
and he can't complain about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a Twilight Zone. At the end of it, when he's all done, he's actually in the plastic and he can't.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it. But Ian,
Yeah, I got it's over there, the Grand Inquisitor in, so that's there. I bet the bullet on that. There's a few figures en route, and most excited for the Inbox Studios Tauntauns, so I should be getting those soon. I've not got a shipping tracker yet, but really looking forward to that when those come. But yeah, that's the only one that's arrived in the past week or so.
excellent stuff. What about yourself, Mike?
I have the Mondo Skeletor that arrived last week, and it's fantastic. Like the Mondo Deluxe finally came in. It was sitting customs for like a month, but I finally got it.
What do they do with it when it
I
does
think they
that?
play with it. Yeah,
Oh my
they enjoy
God.
it.
Yeah.
I think they're
it's
toy photographers or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No
We're
offense,
just
Trevor.
we're just swabbing it with
Yeah.
for stuff. Yeah, sure.
For stuff, you know.
I got
Exactly.
I got shipping on my first Mondo figure this week too.
Oh, what is
Got
it?
yeah?
the Logan from the last SDCC.
No, cool.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah,
that
dude.
should be
Oh, man.
coming
I was on the
sometime
fence
this
with him. Yeah, that's a great looking figure, man. I'm going to regret not picking that up. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, so I got that. And then I got, since we last spoke, I got the Spider-Man comic version. But the seam was so egregious, and it even had like a white thread sticking out from the top of it. I sent a picture to Sideshow, and they are fully replacing the figure with no return necessary.
Which
So-
figure is that?
the Spider-Man comic version, or I call it the comic
right.
version. You know, so I'm just going to try to do my best to just make that one look as decent as possible, and I'll have 2 of them. So I'm really, really happy about that. I mean, that's great customer service.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
Or
Wrong-
battle
nothing
damage
wrong.
that thing.
or battle dance. Yeah, that's a great idea too, because I do plan on displaying them kind of like in a dynamic scene with Carnage and Venom. So yeah, good idea, Trevor. So yeah, I've got that on the way, and then my Wolverine shipped today. So
Oh, cool.
so
Good
should
stuff.
have that in a yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And Jose Plus, what about yourself?
So I haven't sold anything yet. I'm still thinking about it. I might start taking pictures of a few things that I'm thinking about, and then kind of decide there if I'm gonna definitely go ahead and do the selling some of the items I have. In terms of I haven't got anything new, so I've been good. I haven't bought anything. I've been tempted. The Wolverine that you guys are talking about. There's a few times that I've had the opportunity. I've been looking at it, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet. But in terms of things that are coming in, I even talked to Eddie about this one. The 95 Riddler should be coming soon. I spoke to Joel about it, and he told me that the goal is for them to release it before the Chinese New Year. So hopefully soon. So nice. I'm looking forward to that.
It's interesting we haven't really had that flutter, that kind of like flurry. Maybe it'll still come before the Chinese New Year's. I think Chinese New Year's like the end of January, start of February. So like it's interesting that we haven't got absolutely battered like but maybe that was kind of, I know there was a few heavy weeks there, but like never know. But I'm not sure if I went through this 2 weeks ago, but I got the Clone Pilot in. I haven't reviewed it yet. I've took some of the footage and I will be, but I'm busy with other things. But that review is going to come out soon. Very nice. We have the Phase 1 and 2 helmets. A very rare, there's only 2 prequels figures in my collection. They're both troopers and they're in there because they are troopers. Him and Cody. Looks great next to Cody. Really like the inclusion of binoculars and the fact you get 2 different blasters and 2 different helmets. Just really, really cool. So and the next thing is not really necessarily new out, but I suppose it's relevant. I'm not sure if Keith is still here in the chat, the Dublin's Devil. Let us know if you're still here in the chat here. So I'm gonna share just share something here. So at MegaCon yesterday in Dublin, like I said, Keith, just said there's an image loading up here. Here we go. So this is one of the things they had in MegaCon yesterday. What a kind of like a Funko Pop. Now I wish it was generic because I'm clearly not Pikachu. Someone has mislabeled me. So
that's better. That's better.
Yeah, maybe it's better. Yeah, so just in case anyone's wondering,
Pikachu.
That's TK 66546. That's my TK number. 66 for Order 66. Then 546 for my preference for the original trilogy, Empire, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi. That's TK 66546. Okay. So then this is the 3 of us. So I'm on the right. And then there's another Shane on the left. And then in the middle you have Keith with his scout trooper. I'm not sure what their TK numbers is. Actually, there's another Shane there as well, and he does a really good Emperor Palpatine from original trilogy, Emperor, and he also does like a Shadow Trooper as well. Like he's a really nice fellow as well. So there's 3 Shanes. We kind of make jokes. We should have got cleared as clone troopers, but there's a Darth Vader there yesterday as well, which I'd never trooped with. He guy called John. Darth Vader's actually 6'4". And John is 6'4". He is imposing. He's huge. He's got all the chest box lights up. The helmet is like reflective, like he's got the cape. All the buttons and lights on his belt light up. The lightsaber, and has the breathing apparatus. And even though the con is loud, he's got it hooked up to speaker where even if it's loud and you're standing next to him in a crowd, you still hear the it's really cool. And the fact that there was 2 troopers, it was just a lot of buzz. Like, so we were kind of like walking in front of him as if that guy needs protection, the 2 5'10" stormtroopers. Like, but yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Like, so so I'm gonna get rid of this and get the grid
Shane,
back.
real quick, Black Series helmets are not of high enough quality to be used for any of this, right? I think I read that.
I'm not sure to be honest. Like when you get your outfit, whether you will you make your armor yourself or you order it from there's loads of different teams all over the world who make clearable armors. There is a certain number of criteria it has to meet for every it's clearing Darth Vader is different to clearing a stormtrooper. Clearing a stormtrooper is different to clearing a shore trooper. There's loads of individual things that you get online on the forum, and it's like it has to be this color, it has to be this, it has to be this. So I want to say I don't think so. But I'm not an expert on it. Actually, one of the guys who's in the Irish Fiver First, Jamie, really knowledgeable guy, makes a lot of his stuff. I was chatting to him, and he collects 6 scale as well, and I asked him to come on the show at some point, and he'd be the guy to really pick his brain. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff, and a really nice fella as well. So anyone else have anything to share for In and Out there? Okay. Eddie, have you chosen yet? No? And has everyone else chosen something? Okay, so what's chosen so far, Eddie? The X-Wing is gone. We went through the news, which is extra on the top. The middle In and Out is gone, and the Wolverine sticker on the right bottom corner. So everything else is up for grabs. We still get left with some of the good ones.
I'll go with the Deadpool Wolverine.
Okay, so this is one I'm really interested in. Now, I have said repeatedly that the number one movie, the I don't want to get hit by a bus in the next 12 months movie. Now, I don't want to get hit by a bus ever, but I want to make it. I want to see how this turns out, because I love the first 2 Deadpool movies. You know that Time Hopper app on Facebook that like this day 5 years ago you said this, and you read your post and something like, oh, why did I post that? Well, one of them came up for the day I saw Deadpool 2, and I put something up like, if you look up like how to do a good sequel, Deadpool 2 should pop up. That holds up pretty well. I stand by that. I loved Deadpool 2. So this movie I was looking forward to so much for a lot of reasons. Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool again for the 3rd time. The fact that it's a Deadpool movie. The fact that now you have Wolverine coming back. Not just Wolverine, but you have the guy who, Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine one last time. Their on-screen and off-screen chemistry. The fact that it's still going to be R-rated. I was excited that it was going into the MCU, but now I'm worried. And what I'm putting out there with this is, should we be like cautiously optimistic, or should we be worried because the MCU has churned out a lot of dirt recently? Eddie, I'm gonna go to you, and I want it warts and all, man.
Wow.
Give it to me straight, right?
I don't know if we should be worried or not. I mean, everything else that's like the Netflix stuff that's gone to the MCU, like for me personally, I feel like they already are gonna mess up Daredevil. So, and he was one of the darker ones from the Netflix show. So, I don't know, but this one I have more faith in, I guess, because Ryan Reynolds is kind of like leading the charge for it, and I feel like he would argue on a lot of like stuff that the studio would push
you
on
need someone who's going to argue with the producers, the suits, yeah, I get you. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I think I'm more leaning towards the cautiously optimistic side for this one. I have a feeling that it'll be everything we want it to be, and I think it is like going to be one of the best superhero movies of all time. Now, I might build it up so damn much that it ends up coming out, and even if it is good, it's not what I thought it was going to be. But just because, like, for me, I think Deadpool and the Logan movie that came out are some of the best. They're some of the best comic superhero movies, but also some of the best. They're some of the best not in MCU, but they're also just some of the best in general. So to have them both, and like you said, their chemistry and everything, like it's pretty insane. So I'm excited for it. I think they'll end up pulling it off though. Man, yeah,
Yeah, I just I'm really excited about it. I'm hyped about it. I mean, even if forget about Hugh Jackman and Wolverine and push that to the side for 1 minute, a third Deadpool movie, whether it's in the MCU or not, I was always going to be excited about. But now the hype is extra real because of they're bringing back the guy, because the two of them have this. It's just a really cool bromance where they give each other shit, but they love each other, and I just think they're going to be looking real well on I think they're going to have good chemistry on screen. Just even the way that they announced it with that reel on Instagram, like I don't know what it is, but when I'm getting older, it's like I'm not as excited about things as I used to. It takes a lot to get me going, oh, this is I'm really, really excited about this. And like this is something I'm hyped about, but I saw
some news. I don't remember if it said a teaser or a trailer, but for the Super Bowl, like during the Super Bowl, for some of the, we get all the crazy stuff
reveals
for
and
the
stuff.
Super Bowl. Yeah, so there's supposed to be I don't remember if it said teaser or trailer, but that made me hyped
cool.
too.
When's the Super Bowl?
It's the first weekend in February, right?
Yes,
right. That's
I believe so.
Yeah, it's
a week and a bit away.
Not far.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks. Good to know,
So,
Eddie.
You guys, no, you guys. I was just looking for my Wolverine claws, which I swear to God are usually on my coffee table, but I don't know where they are right now. But I'm so excited for this, and one of the reasons I was looking for my Wolverine claws is because you guys brought this up. Hugh Jackman's in this movie. He was done playing Wolverine with Logan. For him to come back, that man has integrity, and for him to come back, I trust there was a reason. There was something in the script. He trusts and loves Ryan enough. We've talked about auteurs before on this channel and how we wish there were more of them in control of these projects in Hollywood. I wouldn't necessarily call either one of these men auteurs, but I would say they both have integrity, and they both really, really love these characters. These are not just a paycheck for these guys. So I'm trusting in these two actors that this movie is going to be phenomenal. That's just, I hope I'm not proven wrong, but I do have my faith in these two guys. I'm super excited for this. And yeah, I don't want to get hit. I'll get nudged by a bus, but I don't want to get hit full on by a bus.
I want nothing to do with buses. To be honest, I don't even like.
Hey, I live in the UK. I almost got hit by buses plenty of times over there.
It's not even. It's not even like a. It's not even.
Bus.
I don't even like. I don't like getting the bus. It's just I like public transport that at least has a bathroom. And it's like I did my time on buses all the way through my teenage years and college and traveling and stuff like that. Man, at least give me a train. Come on, just I'm done with buses. Man.
I feel you.
Yeah. Sorry. So you're what do you think? Ian, on this, like, is this something that you are hyped about? Is it? Do you think they're going to mess it up?
No, I don't think so, because Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, right? I just can't imagine anybody taking that character on. There's too much power with Ryan Reynolds and this character, in my opinion. As much as Marvel and Disney interfering are a bit of a mess, I can't see anything but this being. If it fails, it'll come down to Ryan and co. That's what I believe, because I don't believe that he's compromised in this, and I agree with Mike in terms of having Hugh Jackman coming back. He said he was done, and then when I think the first teaser, remember when they were both in the house and there was a bit of a joke. I think, to me, I read that it was based on the story, because that was part of the sketch, wasn't it? So I think the story should be strong. I'm trying not to get too hyped, because of all the misses of late and how badly run Marvel have been, how they've been able to screw up that first 23 film saga so badly. So I feel a little bit more reserved on that, but I'm super excited on that. Love Ryan Reynolds, love Hugh Jackman, and adore Deadpool.
If it was me, I remember when I was in the UAE, and it was actually like I think it was actually the night that I saw Deadpool 2, and I was like, man, I got to read more of this guy's comics. Like I'd read some of them, because that's the way I work. I've said multiple times, my collecting is rooted in my love of film, movies, TV. And then when I see a character I know nothing about, I like to go back and read the origin story and, you know, figure out from other comic book heads going, oh, you have to watch, read this Deadpool and this Deadpool, and you got to see this one. I remember being in a bookshop after I went to the comic book section, saw the graphic novels, and I came across these Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Now, give me the wheels, and Deadpool in this movie will be cutting through every rubbish Disney Plus character from every rubbish Disney Plus show that has ever been made. I'm just saying that. You cut that She-Hulk in two. Grand. Yeah, Falcon the Winter Soldier, gone. Everyone you want gone that you think was bad, good luck. There's a reason a lot of these shows aren't getting season 2s. Loki gets a season 2. Has anything else got a season 2 yet? And like a lot of them probably won't. Like, do you know what I mean? I know. I watched the Ben Thomas show last night. Eddie, you held back. Sorry, I
held back. Oh, on the.
I was just like.
Mike was there. Mike heard some of it. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to. The She-Hulk season 2. No, who cares? Like I really no.
Yeah, I was there. I held back too, Eddie.
No, like the and that's no disrespect to the actress. I thought the actress did a great job, but like I'm going off on a side tangent here. But what I'm saying is that is something that happened in the comic books. They could do their own version of it and go, you know what's not working, and they could just totally do that. Like, but then again, that'd be Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman cleaning up a lot of the mistakes that Marvel and the MCU and Kevin Feige, whoever made, and maybe that's probably not what they want to do because they still see that there's maybe a future with a lot of those stuff. But yeah,
it's like the rumor. It's like the rumor that Flash was supposed to be like Flashpoint and kind of like reset the DCEU, which was a perfect opportunity to do that, and they didn't really go for that. But you're right; they could use this character in that fashion.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like, you know, like there's probably people watching going, oh, I loved. I know Loki or loved Falcon the Winter Soldier or loved Hawkeye or whatever.
WandaVision.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's cool, fine. But like I just think generally it feels more like content and less than art. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I think a good album. You need a good album. Will put a smile on your face if it's a 5-star album, no matter when you listen to it. Do you know what I mean? And a good movie has rewatchability. Sorry, Trevor, you need to go, do you?
I do have to jump. I think this movie's going to be. It's going to be good. Like, I think it's going to be fun. I mean, you can't go overboard with the comedy like they did with Thor because that's what it's all about. And you're going to get violence with Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm not really worried about the MCU in this movie. I'm worried about it maybe afterwards and what they do with it, but I don't think that's going to creep into making this a bad movie. On the other hand, I'm not setting myself up to say this is going to be the greatest movie or even the greatest Deadpool movie simply because, you know, Hugh Jackman's in it. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be funny. They're going to have a lot of great flashbacks to the Wolverine and things like that, but I am done setting myself up for any Marvel movie to be the greatest superhero movie of all time. Because I've been
I get you. So, but can you see, given that it's a unique situation, that this is supposed to be R-rated, that it's Deadpool 3, that you still have Ryan Reynolds and you have Hugh Jackman, and you still have, it's not just a straight MCU movie, even though it's entering the MCU. Can you see why I'm skeptical? Like, do you think I have a right to, or not a right, or maybe that's not the word I'm looking for. Do you think I have reason to be a bit not sure now?
Yeah, sure, because you don't know. I mean, again, like everybody said, I think Ryan Reynolds has a pretty good grip on this, and he's got enough star power, I think, especially with this movie, to kind of override some of the bullshit that would come along with, you know, people putting their finger on it and, you know, demanding that the end be one of the, you know, one of the typical Marvel endings that they've already pre-planned, despite not having a story. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Or
they
like
may have a
completely
direction that they want it to go
derailing
in.
the main two characters by putting some female in there that isn't actually in the title. Is that
Yes.
too harsh a thing to say?
Bait and
We all
switch,
know it's
they call
happening.
it.
It's
The
more-
bait
We all
and
know it's
switch.
happening.
It's the Luke versus Leia, you know, situation with Obi-Wan, right? So it's kind of the bait and switch situation, perhaps. But-
Yeah, as in, like, it's Deadpool 3. I'm excited that Hugh Jackman's in it. I'm excited that, Wolverine and Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds is there. And yeah, there's going to be other characters, and it doesn't matter what the characters are, but like, let's not, like, I don't want it to be another setup for something else. Make a good movie, tell a good story. I don't think that's too much to ask.
I think we're all right.
Yeah, you
Might not
guys
be
are
the
bringing me
greatest story,
down
but
to
I think it's
earth
gonna be
here.
good.
I was ready to move to Vancouver, drink aviation gin, and from Verizon to Mint Mobile. But I think that you guys are correct. Let's not forget, this movie was also kind of, I don't want to say derailed, but the writer's strike had an effect on this film. Remember, and Ryan is
Affects his ability to do
definitely-
improv.
Absolutely. He had to stick with exactly what was written on the page. And when I read that, I said, oh, that's terrible. Especially for this film.
Yeah.
For a Tarantino film, that's fine. You read those words exactly as he wrote them. But for a Ryan Reynolds film, I want him riffing, man. You know?
But
and that
yeah,
got me
and,
nervous.
but surely he's kind of gone. Strike's over now. There must be,
Absolutely. Let's go
as
back
in,
and look at that scene again.
Strike's over now,
Yeah.
and
They could do some
now we're
reshoots
back in
on it, for
business.
sure.
Do you know
Haven't
what I mean?
heard of that,
Yeah.
I do have to jump.
So-
Thank you guys. This was a lot
Trevor,
of fun as always.
nice seeing you, man.
And I will see you hopefully on the next one.
Yeah.
See you, Trev.
See it. Thanks
you,
for
man.
joining us, Trevor. I do appreciate that. Brad saying Disney and Iger have been pissing Ryan Reynolds off, trying to change the script to fit the woke vs Ryan ain't happy. The thing, the woke thing, I don't want to get too much into that, but I will say this: a lot of people don't have a clue what woke means. If you look it up, what woke means is, it means being alert to social injustice, in particular racism. That's what it means. But I think people change the wording of it and what the word means to kind of almost weaponize their own agendas. Like, again, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, Brad. I'm just saying that word is completely misunderstood. And Ricky Gervais has a great sketch on it at the moment, where he says, like, the true meaning of it means that you're alert to things like sexism and racism and all that stuff. And I 100%. And he says, like, that's the way, if that's what it means, that's what he wants. But then there's the other side of things where you're not allowed voice an opinion, and if you voice an opinion it's different to the norm or whatever, then you get bullied. And he says that's not the way he interprets it. I think it's a great way of interpreting it, but that's what it actually means. It means alert to social injustice, in particular racism. My point is that, like, say, certain movies, I'm going to tackle an issue here, folks. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to try and have it as sensitive as possible. Not every I don't care when I'm watching a movie. I don't care about the main characters. I don't care about their cultural heritage. I don't care about their gender. I don't care about their nationality, their race, their religion, their belief system. I just care that the movie is well written and the script is good and the story is good and it elicits some sort of emotion or excitement to me. All the other stuff, I don't care about that. That's not why I watch movies. Certain movies are going to have only a certain demographic. There was a movie, The Banshees of Inisherin. It was set in Ireland, and I don't actually know the time period, like 1900s or something like that. It features all white Irish people, because that makes sense for Ireland at the time. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that. It just means for that particular time, it's a period in Ireland, at the time, that's who would have been living in those islands, because it was set off an island in And Ireland, of course, is an island, but it was set off an island in Ireland at the time, and that makes sense for the time. Okay, so my point is that at the end of the day, it comes down to a story. It comes down to your character having something captivating about them. And that doesn't matter. You might hate them, like Homelander, like Joffrey. They're not nice people. We hate them. We tune in every single week because we want to see what they're going to do now. We love to hate them. And that elicits some sort of emotion. Or you might have someone that you actually care about in the opposite sense. But that, for me, it doesn't matter about the person's sexuality. It doesn't matter on their gender. It doesn't matter on their heritage or the color of their skin and stuff like that. I just think good writing is good writing. So I'm going to get off my soapbox at the moment now. Right, so folks, the next thing then, we were going on, does anyone have any other closing thoughts on Deadpool 3?
I'll add that we talked about Ryan and, kind of how he'll put his foot down and, I think do right by the movie. I think Hugh Jackman the same way, like he didn't want to come back unless, because Logan was such a good film. He felt that was that was it for him, right? So I think he, I'm sure money was involved, right? What he got paid, but
Eddie
also I think
or money. You're gonna have to be more particular.
money.
I just fact-checked the fact checker. I'm gonna burst into flames.
No, so I'm sure what he's getting paid is important as well. But I'm sure that he saw what Ryan was trying to do, and that's why he wants to be involved. But also, I'll also shout out the director, Sean Levy. He is the guy. He's done a lot of Stranger Things. He's one of the first guys in the first couple of seasons of Stranger Things that was responsible for that show. He did Real Steel with Hugh Jackman, which is a movie I really, really like. And he also did Free Guy, so he's done a lot of great movies. So he's the one directing this movie. So I think we're in good hands with this movie.
Good stuff. I hope you're right. I think maybe I'm cautiously optimistic. Deep down, if I had to put a bet on, is it going to be good or not, I'm going to say yeah. I just hope that it doesn't get a rug pulled, so the suits have power. Right, so we're going back to the grid and see what's left. Still got a good bit to get through, so all right, so
by the way,
go on. Yep.
One thing I was going to say, Mike, you were mentioning about Mint Mobile. My brother actually works at one of the warehouse for Mint Mobile. And, Ryan must be a really great guy because they have daily catering. They have a bar there. It's really nice, apparently. So,
Hey,
worth
anybody
mentioning.
out of a job right now, look for some Mint Mobile opportunities because that sounds pretty sweet.
There you go. Eddie, you joined us there. You just woke up. So,
I just picked, but you're going to let me pick again?
Yeah, I like you that much. Go on, pick again. We'll get through.
Right.
Then we'll go up
right.
through the rest.
Do
of
another one that gets me anxiety and heart palpitations. I'll go with the snap.
Right. Okay. I don't think I was too harsh on you this time. I'm gonna let Jose Plus explain this first one here. So, because he suggested it, so he's gonna talk you through the parameters of this one here.
Okay.
Snap them both.
That's not part of the game, Eddie, but okay. We have to pick one. Okay, so the way I'll explain it is, so essentially with the way it's going to work is the parameters are, so essentially if you want to keep Katie, so you would snap Maggie. So then essentially Katie in this new alternate world, Katie is in the Dark Knight. So she continues throughout the series. Or if you snap Katie and you want to keep Maggie, then Maggie would play Rachel from the beginning. So who would you snap and why? And then also consider, that's the permanent version of the character. So if INART or Hot Toys ever wanted to realm to really, really supporting characters and did a figure, that's the figure you'd get in your collection. I know Shane has told me many times he wants the Katie Holmes Rachel figure, so that's why I bring it up.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep. There's nothing I need in a doll, essentially. So Eddie, what do you think? Who's getting the bye-byes and who's gonna? So basically, you're getting rid of the fact that two separate actresses played the same character in the one trilogy. You get to choose which Maggie's there for the start or whatever.
I want to say that I like the idea of this. I just think that Rachel was like, I'm serious. I could snap either of them and not care who went forward.
A lot of people saying snap Maggie.
They both annoyed me in different ways. Like Jake, what? I don't know her name. Jake Gyllenhaal's sister. I don't know.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Okay. Something about her face annoys me. Like, I just don't like looking at her. I don't know why. And then the other one was actually annoying. Like, when she slaps him, like, I was like, God, dude, why are you...
Oh, that was such a good slap, though.
She just annoys me, man.
I would love to ask him about that slap. As in, you must have felt that, yeah? Because...
Jesus. But, I guess... Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know. I'll go with, Maggie, I guess. No,
so you Maggie. Get rid of her and have Katie Holmes for the three movies.
No, keep Maggie and get rid of Katie Holmes, I guess.
Oh, right, okay.
I think arguably Maggie's a better actress, I guess, but because Katie Holmes, like, I mean, other than being married to Tom Cruise, what does she have? You know,
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. She runs weird.
She's
She runs weird. Jose.
So I feel like if I picked anyone other than Katie Holmes to stay, and Marco would kill me. So I gotta go with snapping Maggie. I don't know. I never bought the chemistry with Maggie and Christian Bale as much as I bought it with Batman Begins. But again, I've mentioned before, Batman Begins is one of my favorite movies, just in general. So I don't know. I feel like I would have felt it more if she would have continued on when she died and things like that, because it would have been the same actress. And I know that there were circumstances why she didn't come back and all that, but I feel like the consistency and you know, and that would have been more effective for me in general. So
yeah, okay. Mike.
God, I'm usually not this mean, and but Eddie has inspired me. So there's that moment where the Joker says, "Hello, beautiful," and you are beautiful.
That's pretty good.
And thanks. And he's a fantastic actor. That was the only moment I didn't believe him.
Oh my God.
And I know that sounds so horrible to say, and I typically am not like this, but it took me out of the movie. I swear to God, it took me out of the film when I first saw it.
I agree with you, Mike.
And you know, so I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm just saying it like it didn't work for me in the film. And so I will say, also to something Eddie said, you know, we can criticize Katie Holmes as an actor. I think she did a fine job in Begins, and that was a double smack. She smacked his ass twice.
She did. It was the first. It's like because he was like, yeah, I'm not moving, I'm not flinching. So he like, I'd say he felt every bit of those slaps.
I think he did. And Christian Bale is not one to say, hey, let's pull our punches or fake a moment. So I think he really let her swing. And, you know, I think she served a great purpose in that film, kind of giving him that moral compass because he was going to go down the Punisher route. So I love what she did there as a character. And I liked her performance. So I'm going to snap Maggie. Sorry about that, Maggie. She's gone.
So that's a clean sweep. And Ian?
Yeah, this is an easy one for me. Snapping Maggie. The brother got all the talent.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you think Jake's pretty cute, yeah? I don't get the hate for Maggie Gyllenhaal. I don't get the hate for Maggie Gyllenhaal. But what makes me want to pick, what makes me want to snap Katie Holmes is so that I can go, see Marco, you're wrong. Yeah, take that.
Wow.
But for me, I now know how to get Marco on the show. He's actually backstage now. He's popping in and out. I think he's having a technical issue. Just pick something that annoys him. Make sure it's on the tinfoil, and he will arrive. So when he comes in, I'll let him in. I think he's having technical issues. But
what is the Marco thing? He loves Katie Holmes, or
he's an issue with Maggie Gyllenhaal. Just I didn't see it. I never got this. He said it, but I didn't realize that everyone on the chat is basically saying they'd get rid of Maggie. I don't get the hate for Maggie Gyllenhaal. I think she did a great job.
You know how
I'm no oil painting myself, but neither of these women are. These are both good looking women. Like, but in terms of their acting ability and what's best for the trilogy, I gotta say, I think it was Jose hit the nail on the head there. The kind of relationship was established like in Begins, and like you see how annoyed she is, the moral compass, basically, for the fact that he was going to go shoot Shill out in the open, and you know that smacking scene, and even the fact that she was in the house from a very young age. I think Maggie's death, or should I say Rachel's death in A Dark Knight, would have hit harder if Katie Holmes had done the second movie. So I'm gonna snap Maggie purely for continuation. That's all.
Yeah.
You know,
I felt like Katie played her more earnest, and Maggie, I felt like she came off a little entitled. And then that letter that she writes him and all that, and just like, come on, like, tell him to his face. Like, I don't know, just
well, she was dead.
Kind of like breaking up by text. Yeah, well, she was dead. Yeah, come on, Jose, give her a break.
Well, before she died, she hands Alfred the letter. Why not just tell him? So,
yeah, maybe it was just like he obviously has. The guy is Batman. He obviously has some goodwill. Like, you know, as in maybe she was kind of like, I can't do this. This is too difficult. Like, you know, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she hasn't had a normal relationship with him since middle school, so that's where they left off. Writing notes.
Yeah, maybe it is like, you know, can you tell your friend that we're breaking up? Like, you know, Alfred.
Check yes or no. Yeah.
Yeah. So Marco never arrives here, but suddenly I put in something that just triggers him, and here he is. So now I know how to get him on board. So we know how you're snapping anyway, Marco. But thanks for joining us.
I'm working right now, so sorry I can't stay for super long, but I just turned you guys on and saw this. This is my favorite.
Don't give yourself that much credit.
Yeah. Well, I like it. You know.
Ian's looking at you, going, "Well, you're no Jake Gyllenhaal."
The moment I said it.
Oh, that's gas.
Oh, man.
So go on. Who are you getting rid of?
This was one of the worst trades possibly in history. The fact that we had Katie Holmes in the first film and ended up with Maggie Gyllenhaal. Now, that's not to say her performance. Her performance was fine, but I'm just talking about from a simple aesthetic point of view. I feel like Katie Holmes is just so much more of a beautiful human being. I just have a hard time believing Maggie Gyllenhaal, that everyone's going to go through all these lengths for this particular iteration of Rachel. So that's where I stand. A super misogynistic take, but that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Okay. Look, so basically the panel, it's a clean sweep though. Even I agreed, but mine was more for continuation purposes. Unfortunately, Maggie Gyllenhaal gets the snap here, and Katie gets not the entire trilogy, because, well, she's dead. She gets the first and second movie. This one
I hope one isn't Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Sorry, Maggie, if you're out there.
So this
she's watching this show and she's like, damn.
This one is, you've got to snap away one of these figures. So on the left you got the Kenobi Vader that everyone's highly anticipating, and then on the right you got another figure, the 40th anniversary Vader, that a lot of people are highly anticipating as well. So I think this should be a quick decision. I can't choose Kenobi over OT as much as it is. I'm picking up the two of these, but if I had to choose, it would be OT, so I'd have to snap Kenobi Vader. Ian?
Snapping Kenobi Vader, easy.
Yeah. Mike?
Snapping Return of the Jedi Vader, and that's because you get the deluxe
different
version with Kenobi, and you can give him that look with the solid helmet. So,
okay. Jose?
I'm gonna snap Return of the Jedi Vader as well, and the reason I'm gonna do that is because Sebastian Shaw, although it's cool that you see him unmasked in the final scene, he plays him for 10 minutes, right? And Hayden is Anakin Skywalker, so that's why.
Yep, that's my reasoning too. Yeah.
I don't care as much about. I don't really care about Hayden Christensen.
He's Anakin Skywalker, though. Sebastian Shaw plays him for 10 minutes.
This is
no. There's no second part to that sentence. Eddie.
Yeah. This is harder because as a figure, I want to be able to put that damaged helmet on him. But I absolutely hate the Kenobi show. Like, hate. And this scene is the worst scene in Star Wars, I think. I'll take Luke throwing the lightsaber.
No, the
worst
spin
scene in Star Wars.
The spin in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
The spin was the worst thing in Star Wars.
I'll take Boba Fett, man.
I would have shot that guy in the arse because he would have been spinning around, trying to look cool. No, bang, you're dead. See? Now go back to H&M with those stupid clothes.
When he tells Kenobi, if you feel bad about killing Anakin,
yeah, they were his exact words, Eddie. Yeah.
If you feel bad, don't feel bad, because I killed him. I was like, what the fuck?
Nah, man, I think you're being harsh there.
No. If you feel
he
bad,
said,
don't feel bad.
I am not your failure. It was poetic.
Yeah.
And he said, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker.
I did.
I did. Oh, man, I thought that was epic. I thought that was epic, man.
It was. Yeah.
All right, hey, how about this,
Sorry,
Eddie?
Eddie.
Did you like Rebels?
Yeah, I love Rebels.
Because they stole the scene from Rebels. So just pretend it's the Rebels.
That's why I said, like, okay, so they're figures, right? So I'll snap away the Return of the Jedi figure because I'd rather have that figure for that head sculpt. So I'll answer that way. Yeah, Mike's right.
Marco, what are you snapping?
Maggie Gyllenhaal. No.
Still.
She doesn't look great in either one of these shots. I agree.
Yeah, rough here, but no, this is a tough one for sure. But I think the Kenobi Vader, it's a badass look. But if you're going simply off what the better film is, yeah, the Kenobi Vader's got to go.
Okay.
That wasn't part of the rules, Marco. Though it was just figure.
So yeah, just a figure.
I make my own rules.
So we mentioned earlier on about there's trilogies, and in any trilogy there is a weaker film, even if even if the two movies are 10 out of 10s and there's one that's a 9. It doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It just means that they're that's the one where it's the weaker movie. Like, for example, I think for the most people, Dark Knight trilogy, a lot of people would say The Dark Knight Rises. I don't think the Dark Knight Rises is a bad movie personally at all. It's just it came after The Dark Knight. It was it was always going to be just below. But then there's some trilogies where the third movies are shocking, right? Now I think The Matrix Revolutions is a bad movie, and a lot of people I know think X-Men: The Last Stand is a bad movie. Now maybe you love it, but which one of these would you snap? We'll start off with Marco there. You cannot pick Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Dang, all right. Well, there goes that. Okay, really super nerdy question, but Jose's going to appreciate this. If I snap away the X-Men trilogy, does that mean Days of Future Past goes away as well?
No, you're only snapping away one movie, X-Men: Last Stand.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I understand. Okay. I'm not a great listener. Yeah, actually, Matrix Revolutions is the one that's got to go. I didn't hate X-Men Last Stand. It's not good, but I didn't hate it. Whereas Matrix Revolutions was just such a huge letdown. I loved the first two. The third one was just a bummer to me.
Yeah, that bloody kid. Neo, I believe.
Oh, gosh.
And any scene with your one Jada Pinkett Smith? Nope. I did not buy her as the I am hardcore and I'm gonna go like this a lot. No.
Careful,
Wasn't
or
buying that.
someone's gonna come after you. You keep talking about her like that.
Yeah. His ears are ringing.
I'm gonna get the snap.
Keep my wife's name. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So you get rid of the Revolutions, grand, Eddie.
So originally, when I saw this slide go up, I felt that pain that I was talking about with these snap games. I was like, no, I can't choose. And then you said the sequels, and I was like, oh, Matrix easily, because I love the first Matrix. The second one's cool, I like it, but I don't love it. And then this one, I could care less. And I love all of the Fox X-Men, everything that everybody hates. I love a Fox X-Men.
What are some things that everyone hates?
Like Wolverine Origins.
Oh,
I love.
Okay, now
Wolverine
you've gone
Origins.
too far.
Yeah,
But you don't like This is literally just X-Men Last
Yeah.
Stand. Like you only have, it's one movie. It's just the third in that trilogy. You don't even have to touch the other one. So
I would take X-Men Last Stand. So snap Matrix.
Okay.
Revolution.
Jose?
all day.
I've never seen Matrix Revolutions. I've only seen the original and the latest one for whatever reason. So I guess I'd snap that one. I think the issue with that, I feel the same way with The Last Stand as Marco's saying. Like I know it's not a good movie, and I think it's a result of them trying to combine too many storylines in one movie. They were trying to do the Cure storyline and the Dark Phoenix storyline all in one movie. So I think that was the issue with that particular movie, but I don't hate it. And I've never seen Revolution, so I think I would have to snap that one.
okay, Mike.
Well, in the history of filmmaking, there are a few perfect films. The Matrix 1 is a perfect film.
I second that.
Everything after that is, in my opinion, garbage. Now, if Monica Bellucci in a see-through dress cannot save a film, it is a really bad film.
Everything, yeah, but that part, yeah.
That was just the cherry on top for that.
It was, no, listen, it's a great moment. However, speaking of moments, you could say what you want about the X-Men quadrilogy, including the Wolverine films. There's something to like, and there's something fun and redeeming about every one of those films. Whether it's just simply Hugh Jackman, he's in every one of them. That's better to me than Matrix 2, 3, and 4. So the Matrix will get snapped out of existence. Matrix Revolutions.
We just have to, just on the Monica Bellucci thing.
Shit, boy. Shit, partner. Shit. 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 Thanks for your time.
Couldn't agree more.
The man is 100% right. Yeah, absolutely stunning. Yeah. And Ian.
Oh, you mentioned Jada Pinkett Smith. Could you imagine if she got the role of Trinity that she auditioned for? Jeez. It would have been a different movie. So, yeah, I love Matrix 1 and 2. Superb movies for me. Snapping Revolutions, it was such a huge disappointment. Really huge disappointment.
It's funny, like I agree with Mike. The first Matrix movie, that's a 5-star movie for me. That's I'll always remember going into the cinema in 1999, watching it, and looking forward to episode 1, and I coming out of it going, well, that's the best movie this year. Episode 1's not going to hit that, and it, in my opinion, it didn't. Just like the first Matrix movie just ticks so many boxes. I think the second one is definitely watchable. I think it gets a lot of maybe unnecessary hate. I think there's some fantastic scenes in that, like the highway chase scene. The twins were great characters. I'm talking about the two guys in the white makeup. I'm not talking about Monica Bellucci.
I knew where you were going.
But
there,
but the third movie though, no. To me, it doesn't matter which of these I snap, because they're just both movies that I don't revisit. It really doesn't make a difference. But which ones do I sometimes, maybe once every 5 years, 10 years, I'll go back and watch the Revolutions to kind of go, maybe I was wrong about this, and I wasn't. So maybe just for that, I'd snap X-Men Last Stand. But yeah, I could take both or leave both. But yeah. All right, so back then, Marco, you'll make a choice here first, will you? You'll make a tough choice here first.
All right, let's do it.
So look, these are our topics. We've done this to kind of to bring in a bit of randomness to these streams. So far, the extra on the top was taken. The Wolverine Deadpool 3 mask on the right top corner was taken. The X-Wing has been selected. In-Out has been selected. The Gauntlet has been selected. And so has what we're left with. We're left with all the left column: the Mandalorian helmet, the clipboard, or the Batmobile. So that's what's left.
All right, let's go Batmobile, because I had a tempting offer today on a jazzing product that I had to turn down. So interested to talk a bit more about this.
Interesting. Okay, so you're kind of hit on the main topic there that we're going to throw all into one there. But what we have here is, I'm just going to present this 1 second. So the title of this live stream, the main topic was vehicles, preparing for them. Either do you avoid them, do you draw the line, just go, I'm going to get like, the smaller vehicles like your speeder bike or your Batpod, or do you actually go full 6 scale and go, right, I'm going to have to change my display in order to plan and accommodate for this? Because my rule is like, if I can't display, I'm not going to pay. I don't want to have something just in a box in an attic, or I want it displayed, especially these beautiful products. So I'll just get these images up. So just to start off with this, the reason I got thought about this, obviously, because the Jazz Inc. 1989 Batmobile has, it's been up for pre-orders and now closed. It's an expensive piece of kit. It's $1,500, and that's before tax and shipping, all that kind of stuff. So it really got me thinking about how to display. So do you want to tell your story first, and then we'll go through the stream about we're not literally just talking about this. This is just what started me thinking about this topic. So in terms of vehicles, do you collect vehicles? Do you not collect vehicles? Do you stick with the smaller ones? Do you have vehicles on pre-order, that kind of thing? So, and you want to throw in, Marco, your story there? You mentioned the Jazz In product or something like that.
Okay, so for my strategy with vehicles, initially I thought, because I only had the one room, that's pretty tight. I was like, maybe one vehicle, but more than likely vehicles are not going to be for me. As I've kind of transitioned to another streaming room, or kind of an art gallery, as I like to call it, I'm putting together some garage shelves and kind of expanding the display. And then I've also bought some Magic cases that I put the DeLorean in. So the DeLorean was the first vehicle that I really added, the first larger car, and unboxing that was just the coolest experience. I felt like a kid, and so it kind of got the wheels turning. Okay, if Hot Toys does some more vehicles, I was able to get that tumbler for $400 shipped.
That's a
from
great
Sideshow.
price. That's the new 2.0,
wow.
Yeah.
It's a 2.0.
So the reissue, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
I've got it on a payment plan. I've deferred payments a few times just because I'm not ready to receive that massive box yet, and for Gigi to see that, because she's going to be very unpleased or very not happy when it comes in. So got that on the way, and then the '89 Batmobile also, because I just appreciate that Hot Toys price points are pushing my budget a little bit, but they're not so insane. When you kind of look at it as a value proposition, I'm like, okay, maybe it's not the higher end vehicles. There's probably going to be a few limitations, but to fit in a Magic case that I've got, it will fit, the 89 specifically. And so I'm like, okay, I think, what was that?
Sorry, I have to interrupt this because I just had a really funny thought about you, and it has to be said. So I've been streaming with you for a while now. We know each other, we're friends. You like to debate me on things. We do this on purpose. We think it's funny. Never once have any of your debates ever swayed me. I don't think you're a very persuasive guy to me in my beliefs. Now we know you. We know 1/6 Fix. We know Gigi. We know how hard she is on you, and how she doesn't let you cross the line. But yet, always, this man is expanding. This man is getting bigger vehicles. This man is... So either it's all a facade, and Gigi is not as tough as we think.
I'm going to counter Eddie. I'm going to counter Eddie.
Actually persuasive.
I reckon Marco is pretty damn persuasive. Gigi agreed to marry him. That couldn't have been her first choice. I mean, come on.
She definitely was settling there, right?
Okay, then he's hiding a bigger hog than Ben Thomas.
He used all his resources for that
family
one
show.
But
continue on.
I can't maybe persuade you in the moment, but I am very adamant when it comes to there's a better word for it, but
he's that kind of guy who just beats you down, and then I'll
go.
give you my number.
That's right. So I'll wear you down in the long run. So I just if I get an idea in my mind. So long story short, those are the three vehicles, right? The DeLorean, the Tumbler, the '89 Batmobile. So I've been looking at some Jazz Inc. stuff. Obviously, Shane, you've been talking about your decision to get the '89 Jazz Inc. recently. It's got the wheels turning in my head because it's a beautiful vehicle. I saw the Adam Savage 22 Batmobile unboxing, and I've had my eye on a few things. And so Calvin this morning was like, hey, I've actually got a pre-order for the battle damaged or dirty version of the 22 Batmobile, if anyone's interested in taking it. I ran the calculation and it's like, okay, almost $1,800 shipped to me, and I just can't do that. Like, I don't have this space really. It's giving up space for figures, and it's just way too much in terms of hitting my budget. So I will say I told him no, and then I told Gigi, like, hey, you know, this was I didn't say it was from Calvin, but I said, this is something that was offered, and she said, you're not interested. It was the first thing she said. So we were on the same page there for sure. But I just don't think the Jazz Inc. fits my budget personally. I don't love any of those vehicles enough to be like, I've got to forego a bunch of figures just to get this.
I actually think you're growing. I think it's great the way you're turning things down.
I got to make room for more Jokers.
Yeah, if I damn it, if I painted this purple, would you be interested? Just a massive shout out and thank you to the Empire _strikes. This is Phil, usually our panel member. He couldn't join us today. We're thinking about you, dude. I hope everything's all right, and thanks very much for watching and keeping the chat going. Guys, have to bounce. I really appreciate escapism needed today. Fantastic panel and chat. This one was a classic. You know, I think we did it. There's a good buzz today, and I do appreciate it. I'm glad you managed to tune in. And we got Christian Detour Collections. Thanks very much for joining in here. Massively appreciate that. Sorry. So you've opted out of the 89 Jazz Inc. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all Jazz Inc. vehicles are just not going to be for me at this time, unless they do a vehicle that I just absolutely need that Hot Toys isn't doing. Yeah.
I have pulled the trigger, and I had a deposit paid, an NRD paid, or not deposit paid, with Lion Rock, and I'm going to contact them tomorrow because I've been chatting to them and basically going to go, look, I'm going to cancel that and hopefully move my deposit onto something else because I don't want them losing out. And with the setup I'm going for, I should have space for another, which would be the tumbler. So I'm going to propose maybe just moving my NRD onto the tumbler there and seeing what they can do there, because everyone wins then. Like, I mean, I don't lose anything, they don't lose anything. So with this one here, I slapped it on a 12-month payment plan, and I'll just have the patience and hopefully get a later batch. That is the plan. I wouldn't do that for just any vehicle though. If it was one proper vehicle, I have the Batpod, but in terms of one proper vehicle, like your car-shaped thing, like your 22 Batmobile or your 89 Batmobile or 66 Batmobile or your DeLorean, this is the car I think of in terms of like cinema history, the one that just, you know, think of your favorite vehicle from a movie, you know, this is there, like anything. And you know, it's, you've got, you know, your Aston Martin DB5, you got your DeLorean, you got your Ecto 1 over. This is something that I'm willing to spend the extra money on. So hopefully it turns out good. And I like the payment plan. You can chip away at it. Not cheap. Definitely not cheap. But as I say multiple times, I pass on a lot of things I like to get the things I love. So the dry powder's been pushed aside as well. So and more than likely, revenue from the channel is going to go into this as well. So again, massive shout out to Phil, the Empire Strikes Back, celebrating 9 months of channel membership. Greatly appreciated. Eddie, vehicles, where do you stand on them? Are you out? Are you in? Do you collect smaller vehicles, or do you have a garage?
I would love to collect vehicles. I don't have space. I have space for one vehicle on top of my garage shelf here, and the two that I fight back and forth on is the DeLorean from the second movie, to the flying one, and then the 95 Batmobile. So, and I'm leaning more towards the 95 Batmobile just because so far I'm picking up every kind of 1/6 scale thing that's made from Batman Forever. So,
and 112.
Yeah, and some 112.
You're the biggest Batman Forever fan that I know.
And in fact, the only.
Yeah. No, that's not true.
I know. Jose's with me on that one. I'm the only Batman and Robin fan in the world.
Yeah, you're alone on that one.
Yeah, so yeah, I would love to get these. I don't need, if I had space, I'd get all the Batmobiles except the Pattinson one. But yeah, they're really awesome, and I think he does great work, and I would love to, just can't do it.
That profile, that side profile, that's a total selling point for me there.
So sexy.
It is just, it's just a slick looking thing. Like it's, yeah.
Is the 95 the same price as the rest of the vehicles, Eddie? Like around $1,800?
Yeah, it's maybe slightly cheaper. I think it was like 1,500.
I think it's 15. Yeah. Not that I was looking at it, but
yeah,
messing
yeah,
with
it's
you.
not too bad. I had it on pre-order originally. I paid it off like a while ago, but I canceled it because it was $1,500 sitting there that was bugging the shit out of me, waiting for that to ship. So I canceled it, and I think it'll be available once it ships. I think there will be a couple. You know,
The 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does look cool. The engineering on it is pretty wild. If you saw what he did with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I would like if the canopy on this was remote control mechanized, but I understand that would seriously jack up the price. Like, yeah. What about you, Jose? You've got the Millennium Falcon cockpit. Anything else your eye on that you maybe pulling the trigger on?
Man.
Or
I did, like Eddie. I want to collect vehicles. I don't have the space now. There's this area in the room that I have a couch in that I thought about removing the couch and doing a garage shelf there.
No.
Yeah, just removing the couch from there and then putting a garage shelf there, and then at that point it would create the opportunity for vehicles. But the first thing I want to do is put the Falcon in there, because right now this is kind of a temporary solution where I have it on top of this chest that I have here, so it's not the drawer section here. But I definitely want to put it inside and then be able to display it in a way where more people can see it with the lights on and things like that. Because right now it just kind of sits there. So I think that's rather important, to display it in the proper way. So I think that would be my priority right now. And then maybe I have been looking at, and I've talked to Eddie about this, the Bat Pod. The Bat Pod's one that I've been thinking about for a while, especially with the Catwoman, vehicle. I mean the Catwoman vehicle figure coming out. So I think that vehicle would be great to pair with.
Steady on, Jose. It's a family show. That vehicle is someone's daughter. What the? So yeah, I get what you're saying, and you know what? You just touched on a really good point. The Batpod, I do think, for anyone who is collecting 6 scale and has no vehicles, and when I say vehicles, I mean the ones that are sold separately. I don't mean like, I know the Green Goblin. What you call it? The thing he steps on, the platform. I'm drawing a blank here. The glider, yeah. Like that is a vehicle, but when I'm talking about vehicles, are ones that are typically sold separately, like your Bat Bike, your Bat Pod. I know the speeders, okay, I think they come with a Scout Troop, whatever, I'm not sure. You can buy the Swoop Bike separately, but from that size up, if you are kind of curious about vehicles, I think it's probably a good idea, instead of going straight for an Ecto 1 or I don't know, Jazz Inc. 89 or whatever, or DeLorean even, to get something like a speeder bike if you're into it, or a Bat Pod, because that Bat Pod's pretty damn big. Like, it's it's bigger than you think it would be. Like when I got it and I laid it out and set it up, I was like, I thought it was only about maybe 3/4 of that size in my head, and I looked at the measurements and everything, but it's still pretty big, but it's a bit easier to store than say the likes of your 89 Hot Toys Batmobile, or your DeLorean or your Tumbler and stuff like that.
And that 22 Bat Cycle is beautiful as well, and it fits in.
I was just going to say, both of those vehicles, the Bat Pod and the Bat Cycle, are like bigger and more interesting and dynamic in person than you think they are from the photos of them. Much more impressive in person. I have them both. I love them.
I'm calling out Brad in my comment section. God bless him. He supports the channel. He watches. He comments on like a lot of the videos, and he was really convinced me. Got to get the Jazz Inc. man. That Hot Toys one. It's just plastic. He was really convinced me. But then I see this and I'm like, come on, man! Don't you have like some? You got some Jazz Inc. stuff, I think. Let us know what you have, Brad. Did you have the Batwing, or maybe I'm completely wrong about that? Maybe I'm thinking about someone else. But yeah. What about yourself, Mike? I think you have a Tumbler, do you?
Yeah, I've got the Tumbler, Bat Pod, Bat Cycle. If we're talking about like just Batman vehicles. So I am like Brad, though. Those are boxed up because I'm moving soon, so I will have more space. So space is not the issue. The issue with Jazz Inc. is the finances. I just haven't been able to. I mean, God bless anybody that's buying these. I think they are fantastic looking big vehicles. I get it. But I've been able to scratch the itch, and I think I mentioned this to you, Shane, in the chat. And I think MB Dyson was asking about this. So 110, 112 vehicles, I would recommend for the 89, the McFarlane from the 89 rather than the Flash. He made two versions. One was the Flash, one was the 89 Gold Label. I'd go with that one if you're looking for a 1/10 scale 89 Batmobile. It's really, really good. And then I just got this 2 days ago, the 22 Batmobile from Hot Wheels. It's a really great vehicle. And it's got the smoke. You drop in some water and it does the smoke effect like jazzing does.
Cool.
Yeah, it's got lights, and it actually comes with a mini dio of the Batcave, so it's up on those metal risers. It's got working LED screens. It's got a bat signal that actually shines on the wall. It's a really great value. It was selling for $500. I got it new, free shipping for $400 off eBay. So have a look for that vehicle if you want a representation of it. The only downside is that the paint app could be a little bit better, but the mold and the details are fantastic. So there are other options out there than 1/6 that I think are pretty good quality for the money.
Yeah. So you're basically saying if you don't have the space or maybe the budget for the 1/6 scale stuff, look at maybe smaller scales, and that makes sense. I actually have I think it's actually a Hot Wheels. It's a 89 Batmobile there, and it's about it's that big. Like it's a nice piece. Yeah, but like I mean this one I went back and forth whether to go Hot Toys with this, and I have stuck it on a payment plan officially 12 months, but I prefer chipping away in that and supposed to just shelling out 1,500 or and whatever, like tax as well and everything. But yeah.
It will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine.
And then Ian, tell us about your vehicle situation. What trouble have you got yourself in this week?
Yeah, so right now I've got the Tumbler, I've got Ghost Rider's Hell Cycle, which is absolutely stunning. Speeder bike, I've got the 22 Bat Cycle, and I've got the Jazz Inc. 89 on order. This is, I would say this is the second
This is how the Magic Case
iconic.
people live.
No, so this will be... Okay, so this is probably my second most iconic vehicle from a movie. You touched on the Aston Martin DB5. That's my most iconic. If Yoast does do that, it's day one for me, because I just imagine in my movie room and creating a Glencoe diorama for the DB5 to sit in and replicate the scene from Skyfall. So this will probably be my second last vehicle. So for me, I'm speaking with Brian at Modicase or Modispace about customising. I like the 6 Series 110, so I'm thinking about joining two together to create that depth, because for me the perfect angle on the 89 vehicle is it's slightly at an angle and not so I may be going against the grain, so I want it coming a certain way. So I've got this vision in my head, so if I join the two cases together with a little bit of customisation, it'll create that depth, and I'll have a glass top to look down through. So that's my space. I could get the DF series, but it takes the shape out a little bit for me. I like things a bit more uniform, so I'm going to take this week one of the cases and join on just to see what it looks like. And then if that works, I'll just hit up Brian. And here was me thinking I might not be ordering any more Moji cases.
Yeah, no one believed. We believe that you believe that. Well, we know you don't, like, so yeah. So like I know we know, like as soon as you just mention infrastructure, we just know that's it.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Man. Yeah. Game over, man. Game over. Folks, look, we won't have time. I wanted to get to one other topic there, but I think we're going to wrap it up there. It's getting kind of late here, and So just finish off with an RMR. Again, random movie recommendation doesn't have to be like an indie movie made for $25 on a camera phone. It can be any random movie. I rewatched The Matrix during the week, and it's still just an absolute banger. It just hits the spot every time. So if there's anybody in the chat or watching the replay who hasn't seen the first Matrix movie, turn off your phone, get rid of it, and just sit down and watch it. You won't be sorry. So Marco, what about yourself? Random movie recommendation? Sorry, put you on the spot now, but that's just what we do.
Oh man, can you come back to me? Actually, I'm trying to think through here.
Newbie.
Sorry.
All right, okay.
Cop out.
Ian.
I'll say Gangs of New York, one of my favourite movies ever made.
Movie.
Two of my favourite actors are in that. Daniel Day-Lewis is my number one actor.
Yeah.
I think his performance in that is absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I actually have the Bill the Butcher figure.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Six-scale custom figure. Yeah.
Mike?
I'm going to say Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
I know that's a film a lot of people have seen, but it's one of my all-time favorites, and perhaps some of you youths have not seen it yet.
Yeah, great movie. People draw comparisons between that and the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I can see why. It's pretty intense downfall. Jose?
I'm going to go with a movie I mentioned earlier, Real Steel, the Sean Levy movie. Again, the director of Deadpool 3. It's basically Rocky with robots. So if you have not seen that movie, check it out.
Cool, good stuff. And Eddie Money Mendez?
I'm going to go opposite of you guys. The comedy. I'm actually going to do a movie review for it later on another channel. It's called Who's Harry Crumb? It's a John Candy movie. It's hilarious, dude, and not a lot of people talk about it. But it came out in '89, and he's basically like a private eye detective. And it's just it's funny. A lot of our humor. You'll appreciate it, Shane. I think if you saw it. So
Good stuff. Okay. And Marco, so I believe you closed the IMDb Top 100 Movies tab, and now you can select one and look cool. Yeah.
Like I often do on CW, I could just pretend
Go
like
on.
I have an opinion. So I will say City of God too. No, I'm joking.
That's a great movie. That is a great movie.
Shane,
The first one. City of God. Yeah, because
it's incredibly depressing.
It is one of the most depressing movies ever. But it's a good movie, because I saw the guys on Collecting Weekly, they were saying like, why did you make us watch this?
It was the wrong audience.
I think that's a good movie, man. It's intense, sad and depressing.
I thought that was universally considered a great film. I'm surprised you met some people that didn't like it.
You know, it falls into that category of movies which I think are great pieces of art, good movies, but I will never watch again. I will never watch Requiem for a Dream again. It's scary, depressing. Irreversible with Monica Bellucci. Again, all jokes aside, if you know the movie and you've seen it, you know I don't want to ever watch it again. It's a horrible depiction in this movie, but a well-made movie all the same. City of God, that's a great call.
So that actually wasn't my pick, though. That was a joke. But so this is one that I haven't seen yet. Maybe you guys have, but it is like next up on my watch list. It's Upgrade from 2018. It's supposed to be a great film.
It's all right.
It's all right. Okay.
The dude from
Venom story.
Prometheus is in it, isn't it? It's a dude from Prometheus.
Yeah, her boyfriend in Prometheus.
Yeah.
He's the low rent. What's it called? Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a Wish.com Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he's the Wish. Yeah.
Tom Softy.
Exactly. Tom Softy.
I show myself out like just Eddie. Sorry, Tom Softy.
But seriously though, that movie when it came out like a few months before Venom, and people were like, "This is basically Venom."
That's what I've heard.
With technology instead of an alien. Yeah, it's interesting.
Gotcha, folks. Well, look, again, thanks to anyone watching. Thanks to anyone watching the replay. Massive shout out to the channel members, troopers, and commanders, and thanks very much to Jose who joined today as well. Thanks very much. It is helping support the channel and stuff like that, and kind of just upgrading things like the display in the background. So look, I don't really have anything to plug. There's going to be a Clone Pilot review during the week at some stage of the weekend, but apart from that, covering whatever comes out, and hopefully seeing you this a week next week as well. So anyone else have something they want to plug? Or
can I just plug this book? If you're a parent and have a little kid,
did you write it?
Like 10 and under? No, but I'll autograph one for you if you want. I had nothing to do with it, but no, it's such a great book, and it just covers like every era of Batman, and it really goes into what makes him special and why. It's
for kids, cool.
It's for kids. It's just so sweet. I read it to my son. I mean, he's
that's cool.
A little too young for it, but it's just it's a beautifully illustrated book, and it goes through the origin of Batman. And what's great as a parent, it's one of those things where there's some films that are made for kids, but there's a subtext that adults are really enjoying. Yeah, and that's very much so with this book. There's a lot of some of the best children's films are like that, right? But so what's great about this one is it will have these little moments where you're like, I know what that's from. I know what he's talking about there. It's just such a great little book. And Brad Meltzer, I Am Batman. If you got young kids,
good stuff. All. And then you can get your son or daughter around to your way of thinking. Then, do you know?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
folks. Massive thanks to all the panelists, people in the chat, channel members, everything, and we're out here. Good luck.